Once upon a time, deep in a lush, sun-dappled forest, a clever little rabbit was hopping home after a long day of gathering delicious clover. As she approached her cozy burrow, a terrifying voice boomed from inside, echoing through the trees. "I am the Invincible Warrior who takes 1,000 steps. I can trample a rhino under my feet and crush an elephant like an insect. Nobody can beat me." The rabbit froze, her fluffy tail twitching with fear. Her heart pounded against her ribs like a drum. Who could this be? Crushing an elephant? That was impossible. Without a second thought, she turned and bolted, her little white feet a blur against the forest floor. After running for what felt like an eternity, she stumbled upon a sly-looking fox who was preening his magnificent tail. "Hey, Fox," the rabbit panted, her breath coming in ragged gasps. Someone has taken over my house. He sounds huge and terrifying. Could you please persuade him to leave?" "Of course, rabbit sister," the fox said, puffing out his chest with an air of self-importance. "Leave it to me. No one messes with my friends." The two of them hurried back to the rabbit's burrow. The fox, full of bravado, marched right up to the entrance. "Hey, you in there?" he shouted, his voice echoing slightly in the cave. "How dare you break into my friend's house?" A powerful voice boomed back, even louder than before. "I am the Invincible Warrior who takes 1,000 steps. I can trample a rhino under my feet and crush an elephant like an insect. Nobody can beat me." The fox's confident smirk vanished. His eyes went wide with terror, and his bushy tail drooped. He took a hesitant step back, then another. Sorry, rabbit sister," he stammered, his voice barely a whisper. "I could never win against someone who tramples an elephant." And with a flick of his tail, the fox disappeared into the undergrowth, leaving the rabbit all alone. The rabbit felt a fresh wave of despair. If the cunning fox was scared, who could possibly help her? Feeling hopeless, she wandered sadly through the trees until she nearly bumped into a massive rhino grazing peacefully. "Oh, hey, rhino," she pleaded, her voice trembling. "Someone broke into my house, and I can't get him out." He scared the fox away. "Can you please help me?" "Of course," the rhino rumbled, his voice deep and steady. "No one should be without a home. Lead the way." The rabbit, feeling a tiny spark of hope, led the mighty rhino back to her burrow. The rhino stomped his powerful feet, shaking the ground. "Hey you!" he bellowed, his voice like thunder. "How dare you break into my friend's house? Come out right now!" The voice from within thundered back, seemingly shaking the very earth. "I am the Invincible Warrior who takes 1,000 steps. I can trample a rhino under my feet and crush an elephant like an insect. Nobody can beat me." The rhino's tough hide seemed to ripple with fear. His knees began to tremble, and he looked nervously over his shoulder. Well, Bunny," he mumbled, avoiding her gaze. I just remembered I have a very important dentist appointment. Gotta get this horn checked, gotta go." Baba start, and without another word, the colossal rhino charged off, leaving a cloud of dust in his wake. The poor rabbit's long ears drooped. She couldn't believe it. Even the strong, formidable rhino was too scared to face this mysterious intruder. Her home was lost forever. With a heavy heart, she continued her aimless walk and soon came across an elephant, gently fanning herself with her enormous ears. "Hey, elephant!" the rabbit cried, tears welling in her eyes. "I'm desperate. You're the biggest and strongest animal in the whole forest. Only you can help me. Please get this stranger out of my house." The elephant looked down at the tiny, trembling rabbit with kind eyes. "Don't you worry, cute little rabbit," she said in a surprisingly gentle voice. "I'll help you. No one bullies my friends." Feeling a surge of renewed hope, the rabbit led the magnificent elephant to her home. The elephant raised her long trunk and let out a deafening bellow that echoed for miles. "Hey, you in there! How dare you break into my friend's house? Get out now, or you'll have to deal with me." The voice from the burrow boomed back, even louder and more menacing than ever before. "I am the Invincible Warrior who takes 1,000 steps. I can trample a rhino under my feet and crush an elephant like an insect. Nobody can beat me." The elephant's trunk trembled, and she took a giant step back. Her large, gentle eyes were wide with fear. "Oh, dear rabbit," she whispered, her voice shaking. "I'm terribly sorry, but I really don't want anyone to crush me." And with that, she turned and lumbered away, her heavy footsteps fading into the distance. The rabbit collapsed under a nearby tree, finally letting her tears fall freely. All hope was gone. The fox, the rhino, the elephant, all the bravest animals in the forest had been scared away. Just then, a small green frog with big, curious eyes hopped by, saw the rabbit crying and hopped closer. "What's wrong, rabbit sister?" he croaked. "Hey, frog," she sniffled, wiping her eyes with her paw. "No animal in the forest could help me. A terrible monster has taken over my house, and I'm too scared to go back." She told him the whole story. "Of course, rabbit sister," the frog said with surprising confidence. "I'll help you. Show me your house." The rabbit looked at the tiny frog in disbelief, but she had nothing left to lose. The frog hopped right up to the entrance of the burrow. "Hey, you!" he shouted in his loudest, croakiest voice. "If you don't come out of my friend's house right now, I'll come in there and drag you out myself." A trembling voice replied from inside. Don't come close. I am the Invincible Warrior who takes 1,000 steps. I can trample a rhino and crush an elephant. Nobody can beat me." The bravado was still there, but was that a hint of fear in his voice? The frog puffed up his green chest. "Now, you listen to me carefully. I'm a frog with sticky feet, and if you don't come out, I'll jump right on your head and stick there and annoy you for days and days." The voice faltered completely. Don't you dare, please, stay away from me." "Well then, get out now." The frog snapped back, his voice firm and unwavering. Hearing the brave frog's challenge, the rabbit's unwanted guest began to panic. By now, a crowd of other animals, including the fox, the rhino, and the elephant, had gathered at a safe distance, curious to see what was happening. "Come on," the frog shouted impatiently. "How long are you going to make us wait? I'll count to 3. 1, 2. Okay. A tiny voice squeaked. "I'm out. I'm here." Everyone looked around, confused. They saw nothing. The rabbit peeked from behind the elephant's leg. "Where are you?" "No more tricks," she called out. "Be right here," the tiny voice said. "I'm standing right at your feet. It's me, the centipede." All the animals leaned in and looked down. There, at the entrance to the burrow, stood a tiny brown centipede, wiggling its many legs nervously. They all stared in stunned silence for a moment, and then they burst into laughter. The fox howled, the rhino snorted, and the elephant trumpeted with amusement. The mighty, terrifying Invincible Warrior with the booming voice was nothing more than a small insect whose many legs made a loud marching sound on the floor of the cave. From that day on, the animals in the forest never forgot the story of the little centipede with the big voice. And the brave little frog who proved that courage isn't about size, but about standing up to your fears. Thanks for watching our story today. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing tales. We'll see you next time.